2014 Jeep Cherokee with the 3.2 V6 engine. Today we're going to be doing the valve cover gaskets, the intake manifold gasket, and the spark plugs for this vehicle. So you might find this video under a couple different titles on YouTube or wherever you found it. And you will probably just have to skip ahead in the video if you're stuck on a certain part of your repair. But other than that, let's go ahead and get to it. All right, under the hood, go ahead and just pull our engine cover off. They're just held in with the little suction cup doodads that stick down onto these 4 prongs. And I guess we'll start by removing the intake. I don't think we need to remove our intake box or our filter box. I think we just need to separate this hose. So I think I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna see if I can't take this whole piece out in one piece. Let's go ahead and loosen up this. Disconnect this sensor right here. You just push down on this little tab right here and you'll be able to pull that off. I'm just gonna tuck that somewhere where it will hopefully stay out of the way. For this one right here, you just need to press down right here on this piece and it'll actually separate in there, if you can see that. I'm hoping that's showing up on camera. Oh, there's a clip right down here. Go ahead and pull that clip out. Put that up there where I can keep my eye on it. There we go. Oh, we got a harness that they put here. Just pull up on this. Come on, nice and easy. Don't need a brake. Don't need to do nothing crazy. Nice, beautiful. And for the rear spark plugs, we now have access to those on the back. And obviously for the ones on the front, I'm gonna have to remove the entire intake. So let's go ahead and get started on that. Removing the intake manifold seems daunting. It's really not. It's pretty straightforward. The first thing obviously you want to do is you need to isolate it from everything else that's going to be getting in the way of it. So you have these tabs that these just pop right off. We can go ahead and pull. I don't know if that's stock. That might not be. That might be something somebody fixed, because that, I feel like that's not supposed to come off like that, but it did. So that might be different for yours. If it isn't, you just need to press down on this. It'll separate it. You might have to use like a flathead screwdriver or something, because this one feels like it's in there pretty tight. There we go. And you can just pull that off. It's just like the other one where you press down right here and it separates it inside, allowing you to pull it off. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and put this on this hose, because I don't think it's supposed to come off like that, but I might be wrong. Just didn't feel right. Anyway, and what else do we have? We have our, oh, easy camera, take it easy. Going down to our rear valve cover, we have this line right here, which these are all just old. I really don't feel like breaking any of them and replacing them, so I'm just gonna take my time, work my way around with a flathead screwdriver, just try to loosen them up a little bit. There we go. You can just rotate that out of the way like that. What else we got? This piece. Looks like these are going to need to come off. Come on, little red tab. Ah, every time. This little red clip is being a pain in the butt. There you go. Get that harness off of there. We have another vacuum hose right here. What is the deal with these vacuum hoses? This has to be the first time this thing's been taken off since it was built. There we go. And as far as I can tell, that should be a completely isolated intake manifold, except for what looks like these bolts right here. Sorry, let me fix my camera real quick. Right here, it's a little rusty, looks like a 10mm, and there's another one right back here. It looks like these are supports that go down to the engine block for the intake manifold to help support the weight on the back end right here. I'm probably gonna go ahead and just undo those two first. They are 10mm, by the way. They are quite rusty. That'll work. Alright. And it looks like we've got two more 10mm right here and here. Looks like another support bracket. I really wanted to make sure this intake didn't go anywhere. Luckily these ones are not as rusty, so they come off a little easier. Now, something I just realized is that this thing is essentially being held in place by these 4 studs. So either we remove the bracket of one of these or we remove the studs. And seeing as how I can't see where this one connects, I'm probably going to go ahead and remove that bracket. Because basically the studs coming out of the manifold are going like this, so you're not going to be able to lift this up, even if you do disconnect everything. So luckily, it looks like this thing is just connected by down here, maybe a 15 millimeter. Right back down there. Hopefully that comes into focus. Right there, my finger's on it. See if I can't get that knocked out real quick. And that bolt down there, or I guess technically that nut, is a 13 millimeter. Oh yes, it's just the one. Thank goodness. It could have been way more complicated. I thought it was a nut on a stud and I was pulling the stud out, but this is actually a single piece. I was not aware of that. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and remove that. We don't need to take it out, we just need to take it off. Make sure nothing else is connected underneath, and we should be ready to remove these little 8 millimeter bolts. I think they're 8 millimeters. How many are there? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I feel like there should be 8. And with this bracket removed, or separated from the intake manifold, I guess I should say, we don't need to remove this. This can stay down here. But this way, when we undo all the 8 millimeter bolts that are out here, so we got like 1, 2, blah, 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 blah. When we remove all those 8 millimeter bolts, we can grab the intake manifold, lift it up, and move it this way to pull these studs out of these holes right here. We're using a stubby 8 millimeter with a 6-inch extension. These intake manifold bolts should not come out. They have a special washer. They have a special washer system that allows them to separate without coming out of the intake manifold. And that's it. What did I miss? I feel something grabbing it. Nope, just my imagination. And there's the intake manifold. So definitely not too bad. And here we have our gaskets. All you need to do is go ahead and pull these out and replace them. And let's go ahead and get to our spark plugs. Go ahead and pull our insulation cover off. We can disconnect, which actually I don't think we need to. These bolts are 10 millimeters for the coil packs. It looks like some of them want to come out, and this one in the middle did not though. So I don't know if they're supposed to do that or if that's just how this one rolls. But I feel like, yep, we can just pull these out and fold them over. Do not need to waste time and possibly damage these connectors. We can just pull them out, fold them over, and pull these spark plugs. And to remove the spark plugs, we'll be using a 5/8 deep socket. I hate it when they vibrate like that. It sounds like chaos is erupting, but it's shaking in the valley really fast. the middle cylinder there is looking a little bit more, it has a little bit more buildup than the other two. The other two, these look like normal spark plugs. These are actually very healthy spark plugs, if I do say so. This one right here, you see how it has this white burning around that? I don't know if this was burning too hot. I mean, if you look at the tip here, this thing's purpling. Might have been burning too hot. Interesting. And for spark plugs, we'll be using the Champion. Holy cow, where's the part dog? Oh, there we go. Could not find the number. Champion spark plugs, part number 9407. And as always, when installing spark plugs, make sure that when you insert them into the valley, you don't just drop them, because when they slide down there, they could hit the head and you could end up closing your gap a little bit, which could end up causing a misfire. So I always recommend just placing it in here with your index finger and sliding it down as far as you can. And just start off nice and slow. And just tap. That's it. That's it. And obviously this would be the part where I put the coil packs back on. If you're just doing the spark plugs, you know, this is pretty much the end of the video for you. Put everything back together in the reverse order. Obviously, don't forget to do your rear spark plugs. Those are the easy ones to do. You just have to remove the intake tubing to get to those. But to get to these up front, you have to take off the intake manifold like we've done. But obviously, I don't need to explain that to you. You're probably doing the job too, so you know what you're talking about. Put everything back together in the reverse order and you'll be golden. We're going to keep going with the video because I'm also doing the valve cover gaskets on this vehicle. For this video, I'm just going to be doing this front gasket right here. It's exactly the same as the rear gasket. So there'll be no difference. So no confusing about anything. I'm just doing this one because I'm not going to be able to get too many good angle shots with my camera from back there. So let's go ahead and get to it. I think the first thing we need to do is unplug, I believe this to be our camshaft positioning sensor right here. Where's my screwdriver? Pop that out. And we can disconnect our sensor. And this sensor is actually its own gasket. You'll see that once we pull it. And you are going to need to remove this nut right here, this bolt, which I believe is a T30. Let me not lie to you. Let me check. Yep, I was right. Yeah, it's a T30. I don't know if that's going to show up. T30, one of those star point things. I can actually just go ahead and put this onto my little 1/2-inch baby impact. Be nice and gentle with this. This is not an easy bolt to find if you have to replace it, so make sure that you are careful about not damaging the threads on this bolt. Let go of the bolt. Come on, come on. I believe in you. You can do it. Thank you. So, long bolt, very hard to find. Take your time. Replace this O-ring right here. That pink thing, that's an O-ring. Make sure you replace that. Should come with a new one in the kit. So pay attention to that. Don't forget to do that, or she could have to do all this over again because she got a tiny little oil leak. And we're just going to gently pry this up. Make sure you work around it. Don't just stay in one spot and keep prying until it snaps. There it goes. And there is our sensor. What do I do with this? There we go. And this is the gasket I was talking to you about. You're gonna make a liar out of me just like that, huh? Shouldn't have said nothing. There you go. And this is the gasket that goes for that. Your valve cover gasket set will come with replacements for these. Or at least they should. I hope they do. Alright, with that removed, we can go ahead and remove our PCV hose right here. I'll lay that over there for now, and we can come down on this side, move this back out of the way, and take off this little plastic cover right here that's supposed to be here to help keep harnesses out of the way. We have a connector right here. I should just be able to press down on this and pull. There it goes. Just didn't want to do that for me for some reason. And we can go ahead and remove. Second one, there are two sensors right here. These are for taking care of your intake cam and your exhaust cam. I don't know if these are technically position sensors, because I'm pretty sure that this is the position sensor. But so these might be like VVT sensors or solenoids. Anyway, see if we can't just hide that out of the way. So anyway, disconnect these two sensors, and let's look around. We got these little hooks right here. This one's already off. This one. There we go. Beautiful. And we have a harness hook right here. You just pull up on these to get them off of the stud. Oh, that is a terrible place for that. They've got this mount right here blocking the bolt right here. I might have to figure out what to do about that, but it ain't gonna be pretty. And as far as this right here, I'm going to hold this out of the way as best as I can while I remove that stud. Alright, I am probably going to have to gently tap this with a hammer a couple times because it is just not giving me the space that I need. Beautiful. Let go of my socket, thank you. And these are non-removable. They stay in the valve cover. That one on the corner is a pain. And this one down here, I don't think I'm gonna be able to get to all too easily. So let's switch switched over to a electric ratchet 3/8 to a 1/4 inch extension to the same socket I was using, the deep 8mm. I'm gonna see if I can't get a bite on this thing. Oh, there's just too much stuff in the way. I don't think it's gonna let me. Alright. Use a manual tool. I'm just playing, of course. If you're just doing this to get your vehicle back on the road and all you have is basic hand tools, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. But as a guy that turns wrenches every day of his life, not having power tools adds a lot of time that you could be saving. So it's kind of a big deal to have electric tools or air tools or something like that if you do this for a living, but if you don't, it's not a problem. And of course, none of this really matters at all. I'm just rambling while removing that bolt so people don't get bored. And that is pretty much it, I believe. Let's see if I can't get this in here. There's actually a little pocket right here where the valve cover sticks out, and you can usually get a flathead screwdriver in here. There it goes. Well done. And we'll go ahead and just work our way around. Being very careful not to damage the plastic valve cover. Why is this whole car shaking? There we go. I'm in here with my medium pry bar. See if I can't put a little bit more tension on it. That's what I wanted. It's letting me walk this all the way down. Seriously, why does it feel like I missed something? Almost there. You can do it. I believe in you. Ah, what a stupid idea. So what gave me such a hard problem with these valve covers is there's this little thing right down here. It's almost like a dowel for lining it up, but you can't get it out. You just have to kind of get underneath of it and wedge it up with the pry bar like I was doing. And look how much rust is on this, and it's ridiculous. Why would you do that? This is not needed. Such a waste of time. Anyway, kind of a hassle getting these things out of here because these brackets are all in the way. You just got to kind of play with it. I did have to tap them a little bit with the hammer just to get them out of the way. And then once you have the valve cover back installed, you can get a flathead screwdriver or something in there and pry them back forward so that the intake manifold will line back up. But let's go ahead and get this valve cover gasket removed from the valve cover, new one installed, and we'll go over prepping the surface of the head so that we can reinstall this valve cover gasket. All right, let's go ahead and get started on this. Just gonna get ourselves a pick, come in here and remove the old gasket and just try to work this thing out. actually working really well. I'm surprised. Normally this would have broken by now. One of our seals on our valve cover for the spark plug right here. Let's go get that real quick. It's not supposed to, that's not supposed to stay on there like that. Yeah, there it is right there. So when you're installing these, this crowned side right here goes into the bottom of the valve cover. So when you have the valve cover flipped over, you should see this side. Alright, kind of cheated removing that one, but that's alright. We have a flathead screwdriver at about a 45-degree angle, and just gently tap. And those seals will come right out. They are not in there that, you know, seriously. See, they pop right out, no problem. These nuts are from a previous job. Just ignore those. And come in here, clean up where the spark plug valley gaskets go, and then do a quick run on the perimeter where the valve cover gasket will be going. And for this repair, we're going to be using the Felt Pro valve cover gasket set, part number Victor Sierra 50805 Romeo. Pretty sure that the valve cover gaskets are identical, so we shouldn't have too many issues with this. I think I am wrong. I think these are definitely not identical. Yep, there we go. Because I knew this little tab stuck out because I was talking about it earlier in the repair. And when you're going around installing this into the valve cover, do not slide your thumb. You need to press these straight in, because if you slide your thumb or whatever you're sliding as you're installing this, you will actually stretch out the gasket. Come on. And when you get to the end, it won't fit in to its molded groove. And you want to avoid that, so just press it straight down in. And again, you should see this side, not this side. For our valve cover spark plug gaskets, spark plug valley gaskets. Go ahead and place this. So our oil tube is hanging off the table. Got a 1-inch deep socket. Go ahead and press these in. Alright, now we can go ahead and prep the cylinder head for the new valve cover gasket. We're just going to get a can of brake clean, spray down a rag moderately, I guess. We're just going to work our way around. Looking good. Alright, with that all cleaned up, we'll go ahead and get ourselves a flathead screwdriver, and we're going to take off this black RTV that's located right here and right here. And what putting black RTV does right here, you can see that there's a small black square. That's actually the gasket for your front engine cover that you have to remove to get to your actual timing. And we need to put black RTV right here and right here to help seal this little where the timing cover is actually bolted to the actual cylinder head. So there's actually a small crease right there that you can see. You probably won't be able to see it on the video, but you'll see it when you're working on yours. So just get yourself a little bit of black RTV and put it right here and on the exact other side down here. Do that for both sides of the valve cover, obviously. And I used to have a gasket scraper specifically for jobs like this, but I don't know where it went. So, and every time I buy one, I'll have it for like a couple months, and then it grows legs and disappears. Do your best not to drop any of this RTV into your engine, and leave yourself with a nice clean area, like so. And it is pouring down rain outside. nice and clean. Get ourselves a Turbo Black RTV. Go ahead and put ourselves a nice piece right there, and one right there. And that's all there is to it. We are now ready to put the valve cover gasket back on. I'm sorry, the valve cover back on that has the new gasket already on it. So let's go ahead and get that and knock it out. I'm just gonna have to fight everything to get this thing back in. Nothing's really like obscenely in the way. It's just kind of annoying. And once you get it down, and once you have them lined up with your spark plug valleys, which one of you is doing it and why are you doing it? There it goes. So what you need to do is actually, to get these sensors over the heads of the cam sprockets, you need to actually lift up here, slide this one down first, and then push it to the back. Now with the spark plug valleys lined up, you can go ahead and press that down. And now we can go ahead and put our valve cover gasket on. Starting from the most inside, what we're going to first do is we're going to start each one of our bolts a couple turns. We're not going to put any of them down tight because we want to make sure that all the bolts are lined up properly before we do anything permanent. See, like that one right there, that wouldn't have been lined up right. And with all of our bolts started a couple of turns, we can go ahead and start putting these down tight. Starting from the innermost bolts, so either here or here, and then we're going to crisscross our way out, and that's going to allow us to make sure our gasket is put down nice, even, and flush. It's looking good. Now, before we forget, because I usually do, let's go ahead and get this gasket reinstalled. We got this one, and this is a very easy gasket. It literally, my thumb could get out of the way, it literally just sits right in there. Go ahead and put our sensor back in. And I'm gonna go find a new O-ring for this one. There we go. And my valve cover gasket set did not come with a new O-ring for this bolt, but you know, I own a shop, so I have all kinds of gaskets and O-rings laying around. Just let go. So definitely get that replaced, even if you have to take the old one off and go to an auto parts store and find an exact replacement for it. It's worth it, just to make sure you don't have any stupid unnecessary leaks. Yeah, there's that. Go ahead and plug it in. Lock it down tight. What else? Put our coil packs back in. And that's pretty much all there is to it, really. Obviously, if you're at this point, we're going to go ahead and do the rear valve cover gasket back here, as well as the spark plugs. But obviously I don't want to add another 30 minutes to this video doing stuff that I already covered right here, so just take everything you learned here and apply it back there. And obviously get yourself some new intake manifold gaskets. These also might be referred to as plenum gaskets. It all depends on where you are geographically. I've always called them the upper intake manifold gasket. And if you undo these bolts right here, this whole section will actually come out. Well, actually these bolts and these bolts down here, and this whole section comes out, and this is actually your lower intake manifold, which also has gaskets connecting to the actual heads for the air to go into the cylinders. But anyway, that's pretty much all there is to it. Just to go ahead, finish off the job in the back, reinstall everything in the reverse order we took it apart from, and you should be golden. If you'd like to see another video on one of these vehicles, go ahead and check out that one next. I made that one just for you. But other than that, if this video helped you out, leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll see y'all next time.